I'm good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first panel today of Digi-Con, and please can I get a huge round of applause for our first panelist, Mr. Andy Secombe, everybody. Well, Andy, let's get the ball rolling. Have you enjoyed your weekend so far?
Hello. Oh, it's on. Yes, very much. I haven't seen much of Doncaster because I only arrived last night, but yeah, it's been fun today.
Is there any recommendations for any Doncaster people that Andy could go and see before he goes? There's a big Asda down the road. You might want to go and check that out. I will open this up to everybody, so if you do have questions, feel free just to put your hand up. I'll get you in a minute. I'd like to get the ball rolling because from my limited research, I believe you started off as a comedian.
No.
Well, that's very bad research then.
No, I've never been a comedian. I've always been an actor. I started. When did I start? Back in 1974. I left drama school.
Right.
My first job was at Fringe and Rep. I've done mainly theatre, really. I'm mainly a theatre actor. But I started voice acting after a very boring job I was doing. I got chatting to a fellow actor, and we were both fed up with the way that the business works for actors. You sort of hang around waiting for the phone to ring. So we thought, let's write something. Let's do something ourselves. So we wrote the play, and it didn't get anywhere. But through that, we got an agent who put us up for various jobs, and we got chatting to various people at Channel 4 and other places. And they said, do you fancy writing an animation series out of the blue? And we said, I mean, that's how good at chatting we were. It's called networking. And we did. We started that. We wrote a load of series for called The King and the Devil was one, and another one was called The King of Claymation Animations. And we did all the voices ourselves. And then they gave us Insectors, which was a big sort of early computer animation series. We did all the voices for those. And then one day out of the blue, I got a phone call from a very nice sounding lady saying, "Hi, we're in town. We're casting a big movie." I said, "Oh yes," and we're looking for voice actors. Could you recommend a voice actor? I said, "What's the movie?" And she said, "Star Wars." Yeah, and I went, Star Wars. Me. And so I went along to audition, and I auditioned for several parts. I auditioned for Jar Jar Binks, didn't get him. I auditioned for, everyone says that, for, who else I auditioned for? Captain Tarples and a few other sort of generals and things.
Did you do Darth Vader?
No, strangely enough, no. That was already cast, bizarrely. and Watto, and I got Watto.
And what is an audition process like for a voice actor compared to an actor?
Well, what usually happens is these days they know your work, so they just ask me to go and do things. But you can be asked to self-tape. So you make a little recording into your phone and send it to them. And if they like what they hear, they'll give you the job. But for this, because it was a movie, they actually had little line drawings of the character. They didn't have a fully fledged animation. They just had little sort of sketches and ideas, and they didn't really know what they wanted. So they said he's kind of rough around the edges. He's probably got mafiosa connections. He's sort of like an intergalactic second-hand car salesman. And,
Del Boy in space.
Yeah. So I thought, well, he's rough and mafiosi, so there's Italian in there. So I was, hey, sounds like this, maybe. How's that? And they liked it, so I got the gig.
And was it just the voice recording? Because I know for Jar Jar Binks, it was the actor in the green lycra bodysuit thing. Was that the same for yourself, or was it
no? My legs wouldn't fit into those little skinny legs. No, it was before the days of motion capture, and so what would happen is we'd play the scene, they'd shoot the scene with me in it as a reference, and then I'd stand out, and they'd do it again. I'd throw the lines in from behind the camera, and then they would, by magic, insert Watto into the scene when they actually got to edit it.
I like the way you didn't destroy the illusion at all. It's not a movie trickery or anything. It was magic.
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 Oh, it is magic.
Of course it is.
Industrial Light and Magic. That's what it's called. That's the name of the firm.
And now, obviously, Star Wars. It's a big franchise.
Yeah.
When you were on the set, did you have what could only be described as a little nerdgasm at all? I'm on Star Wars. There's Liam Neeson. There's Schindler's List.
Did I need my brown trousers? Funnily enough, no. I mean, I thought I would be, because Leavesden Studios, massive set, huge building, and I was very nervous getting there in the morning. I had to get there. It's filmed, so you have to get there at sort of 6 o'clock in the morning. And I was sort of shivering before I got there, but the moment I walked on set, it was like walking into a very well-oiled machine. And I thought, nah, I'm in very good hands here. Everyone knows what they're doing. Everyone was extremely professional, and it was very much a family feeling on set. George was very much, he had his kids sitting on his lap while he was shooting. You know, it was a really nice feeling. And I thought, there's not much I can really do to actually completely F this up. You know, so and so it just kind of happened, and I felt, bizarrely, it's the most sort of supremely confident I've felt doing any job ever. The biggest job I've ever done, and it was like, oh yeah, Watto, yeah, Star Wars.
And do you get many people referencing Watto when you come to many conventions? Or
yeah. A lot of people come up to me and try and do the voice.
The stress word being try in that sense.
Some of them are very good. Some of them.
Is there anybody here who feels that they could probably do a good Watto impression? No, I didn't think so.
No, I was brave enough.
Well, the one thing I did, hopefully I've gotten this bit of research right, because it didn't really start off well. Were you attached to the BBC dramatisation of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yes.
Thank God for that. Because you played Colin.
Colin the security robot.
The hung around with Ford Prefect.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favourite characters.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. That's amazing.
It was Colin. Oh, what was it?
I gush with delight. I froth with delight.
I've had the great pleasure of meeting the radio cast of The Hitchhiker's Guide, and they are just sweet, lovely men that have been playing these characters.
Barking mad.
They are
all barking mad.
As mad as a bag of spanners, but they are still lovely. Was it the same sort of feeling when you were doing the recording for
Nah, they all hated me. No, it was great. Nah, it was great fun. Great fun. Dirk Maggs, the producer, is an old mate of mine. He pulled me in to play my father, bizarrely enough, in my father's Harry Secombe, for those of you who remember him. To do a goon show, sort of a cardboard replica goon show.
Yes.
And after that, he sort of asked me to join the Star Wars cast, playing sort of, you know, the Hitchhiker's Guide lot. He said, it's a similar kind of thing. He said, do you want to be in Hitchhikers? I said, yes. And so he got me to play, Colin the security robot and a few other bits and pieces, and I've been sort of doing that ever since. And we did a live show a few years ago. We went out on tour with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy live, and we had guest books every week.
That's right, yeah.
It was great fun, great fun.
I was fortunate to see the production in Edinburgh at the Playhouse.
Oh yeah, I think that was the last one.
It was, and I got my towel signed. Because if you go to see the cast of The Hitchhiker's Guide, you've got to bring your towel. That's like nerd law, more than anything.
Yeah.
Is there any characters that when you come to conventions that, apart from Watto, is there any characters that fans resonate with yourself?
Well,
it's a tough question.
I did Many years ago, there was a BBC series called Star Cops. I don't know if anybody remembers that.
No, okay.
No. And it was about cops in space.
Sold.
Bizarrely enough. And it only ran for one series, but I played a character called I can't remember. It was that long ago. But people still come up to me with the recordings and say, I loved you playing whatever that character was.
It was so memorable.
It was so
that character.
So memorable. So memorable. But we just recorded one for Big Finish. Everybody know any Big Finish fans here? Big Finish? No? Okay. Audio dramas. It's going well.
So far.
Apart from that, or a few other, a few sort of, I did play school and play away and all those kind of things. And occasionally people of a certain age remember me from those days.
And you briefly mentioned your father. Was it him that helped inspire you to go into this particular?
No, he tried to turn me off. Tried to turn me off. Yeah. No. He said, "You don't want to go into this business. It's too difficult. It's too hard." He used to tell me stories. He was playing the bill at Bolton Empire, and he used to do a shaving act. And he'd run on stage and doing sorry, I haven't had time to shave this evening, and I'm going to just shave while I try and entertain you. That was how he started his act.
Yeah.
And he shaved, pretending to be different people. And it didn't go down very well that night. And in fact, nobody laughed, nobody applauded. He walked off the sound of his own footsteps, and the manager of the theatre paid him off in the wings and said, "You're not shaving my bloody time. Get out." So he told me stories like this, sort of trying to sort of persuade me not to. And I think, okay, yeah, fine, because I was very shy. I wanted to be a writer. And so that was fine until I was made to play the lunatic in the school play. My English teacher, for some reason, thought I might be right for this part.
Of the lunatic?
The lunatic. And he had to throw me on stage because I was too nervous to go on. But I fell on stage and got a laugh. And it's very addictive when that happens, You think, oh, okay, yeah, I can do this. I got up and fell over again, got another laugh. That was it then. I was hooked. I thought, this is easier than writing. So then I applied to drama school, and the rest is history.
So your father had the shaving act, and you had the falling act.
The falling act, yeah.
So
yeah, very good at falling over.
If you just had a third family member who took custard pies in the face, you would have had all the pratfalls taken care of.
The whole gamut.
Is there any? Well, you're already in Star Wars. You're already in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Is there another genre, another sci-fi defining show or production that you wish to be in?
I wish to be in. Mm-hmm. Oh God, Star Trek. I'm a huge Trekkie.
Ooh.
Yeah, big Star Trek fan. The original series.
Oh, you're not a fan of the newer stuff?
I'm not a fan of the newer stuff. No.
You love Shatner's overacting.
Absolutely. Fuck. Balls.
That was actually a really good Shatner. That was very good.
It's the pause. It's pauses between every word. That's all you have to do.
Sorry, I was just lost in your performance. It was truly. I would love to hear your version of William Shatner saying Khan from Wrath of Khan, the film.
Khan.
Be more sort of like a Khan.
You did that very well. I'll leave that with you, I think.
Go through your voice, darling. That's what the moneymaker is. I am going to open this up to the audience. Does anybody have any particular questions they'd like to ask Andy? Anything at all? You can come to me, or I can come to you.
How Watto got his lovely complexion?
Well, that's a good question. How did Watto get his lovely complexion?
Guinness, I think.
Ooh, he's part Irish.
It's in there somewhere, if you listen very hard.
Well, to go back to Watto, you said that you were given a stenciled outline of what the character would look like.
Yeah.
Was there something in that particular drawing that helped the voice come out from you?
Well, he looked rough. He looked like he hadn't slept for a few days, and he hadn't shaved, and he looked sort of like weird. He looked like a wreck. I thought, how do I sound like with a hangover? And there's a sort of a in there. He looked, and that's what he looked like, and so I suppose that was part of it. Yeah.
And did you know that it was that you were going to have a part in episode 2 as well, or was it just sort of like you're just done in episode 1? That's it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, they asked me to just come to a script reading. They said, "You're not going. We're not sure if we're going to give you the part, but will you come to this script reading?" So I went along, and all these people walked in the room. There's George Lucas and Liam Neeson and a few others. I thought Samuel L. Jackson. What's going on? We sat down, read the script, and I was sort of reading in. I read Yoda, and I read a few other parts, and I read Watto. I did a very bad impression of Yoda, which made George Lucas laugh, and I think that's why he gave me the part in the end.
Because he felt sorry for your Yoda?
Yeah.
Would you like to give us a rendition of your Yoda?
These words they are. I mean...
Oh, that doesn't work.
Bad. No.
Yeah. I mean, stick with it. You'll have a career. But, do you prefer the voice acting, or would you prefer the theatrical stage, darling?
Well, I'm a thespian by trade, darling. I like theatre because it's immediate. It doesn't pay, but it's you get a lot of
immediate feedback.
You get a lot out of it.
Yeah.
Television and film, there's a lot of hanging about. Television not so much these days because they tend to kind of push things through quite quickly.
Yeah.
But film, you sit around all day. Sorry, we'll get to you in a minute.
Yeah.
And then you sit there for another 5 hours. But the little bits of... I do enjoy filming when it's actually happening, because the little bits of action in between all the long waits are actually sort of... Well, that's sort of fun and concentrated. But basically because you've been hanging around for so long, it's nice to do something.
Yeah. I did. I remember doing a panel once. I can't for the life of me remember who I was talking to, and I said, "What's the one piece of advice you could give any budding actor wanting to get into film?" He says, "Find a good book and bring it with you."
It's true,
because there is a lot of most people, they see the end result when it's on the screen or on the television, but there is a lot of big gaps between scenes where they're setting.
The nice thing about Star Wars was that they had on-set catering. And people would come round with dim sum and sushi and all sorts of stuff. The trouble was, because I wasn't in costume, they didn't know who I was. They didn't think I was part of the cast. So I'd be, and they'd actually sort of turn away when I tried to sort of grab something. So I had to chase around, sort of stealing bits off trays. So that was quite nice. I mean, you don't get that on every film.
No. Is there any theatrical production that you've done which kind of cemented your choice of wanting to become an actor, like not being thrown on stage playing lunatic? Maybe not that, but any sort of productions that you've been incredibly proud of being a part of?
Well, I did a few really. Many years ago, I was in a production of Hamlet at the young Vic. I played Horatio, Hamlet's friend. That was fun. Funny enough, that was our Ophelia in that was Natasha Richardson, who very sadly died. Who was married to Liam Neeson, very sadly died in a skiing accident. She was lovely. She was really, really nice. It's such a shame that happened.
That is very true.
But apart from that, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. Most of what I've done, I've forgotten about.
That's when you have a thriving career.
Yes,
that you can forget the work that you've done.
Yes,
but it would live on forever in the memory. I don't know why I'm doing this voice, but I like to stick with it because it's in the memory of the people that saw it. Did that come across okay? Or?
Gaps, not bad.
No, man.
Was that Eamon Andrews you were channeling?
I have no idea, but I like it. We should talk. We'll do brunch. Yes. We are going to have to wrap this up soon, folks. So, last opportunity, if anybody does have any particular questions. Anybody at all going once? Oh, we do have one in the front.
Hey,
good.
Question.
Good. Oh, I do love a good random question. Wait.
Are you from England yourself?
Am I from England?
Are you English?
I'm actually Welsh. I'm from Swansea. But I was brought up in London, and I've lived most of my life around London. Although we did move down to Cornwall a while ago, and now we've moved back because you get to Cornwall and there's actually nothing there. So I went to Cornwall, it was closed. It feels a bit like that. Anyway, so we're now. I apologise to anybody from Cornwall here. Now we've moved a bit closer to back to civilization. We're in Cheltenham now, which is awfully nice, and terribly nice.
Can we get a street name and postcode?
No.
No. Okay. Can't blame a guy for trying. You just get flooded of people sending MP3s. So if I can do this voice.
Yeah.
I cannot do your voice.
Does that not hurt your throat?
Yes.
No.
Because I remember talking to Jim Cummings last year, a Disney voice actor, and he says that if you're auditioning for a voice and it hurts in your audition, don't audition with that voice.
No.
Because that's a very important tool for a voice actor.
A voice actor. Well, I didn't know if it would hurt or not when I came out with it. But we did it for. I was doing it every day for about sort of 3-4 weeks at Leavesden Studios, and I could still talk at the end of it. So
that's a good sign.
Thought, hey,
that is a good sign.
We're okay with this.
If you can order the pint after the work,
absolutely,
you know you're doing okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the audience? Oh, you do. Don't be scared. It's okay.
He's not scared.
I am petrified.
Oh, she's not scared.
Yes.
Oh, Beverly, hello.
Oh, you two know each other.
Oh, yes, we're well acquainted.
You're the plant in the audience, aren't you? What were you going to ask? Oh, so it was you following me, was it? And not just on Twitter. Anyway, you had a question.
Yeah, what's your favourite quote as Watto?
Favourite quote? The one I'm most asked to do is from the scene where Qui-Gon Jinn comes and begs him for a
T14 hyperdrive.
And he tries to pay him with Republic credits.
Republic credits will do.
Yeah.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will.
No, they won't. Stop waving your hand around like that. What do you think, you're a Jedi or something?
Hang on, we haven't got there yet.
No money, no parts, no deal.
There.
Yeah, but for a second there, I was Liam Neeson.
You were very good, I must say.
Just don't ask me to do that. Don't ask me to do that monologue from Taken, because I'm not going to do that. What is Liam Neeson like in real life? Is he lovely?
He's very tall. He's really, really lovely. Really nice guy. The first day on set, they made me wear a hat so that the animators would know who was playing what. It was pretty obvious, really. There was Liam Neeson, who's very tall. There were lots of sort of blue aliens standing around, and me. I was wearing a sort of t-shirt and shorts. It was the summer, but they made me wear this hat so that the animators would know which character to animate over. And it had a very it was like a lampshade and a very sharp metal rim. And we were shooting the pod scene the first day, and I have to. It's all the gambling, the chance cube, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And there's a bit where he's saying something isn't going to happen. I'm saying, hey, you may think you've what? No, he wins. That's right. He does the sort of the Jedi bit, and he tips his loaded dice over. And he said, and Watto gets angry, and he says, "You may have won the short toss this time, but you will not win the race." Right in his face, and the brim of the hat caught him on the nose quite badly. Oh, no. And he fell over. I mean, he's a sort of 7-foot ex-boxer, and he fell over. And I thought, oh God, the first day of shooting, I've killed the leading actor. But he was fine about it in the end. I mean, he did have to. I did give him a cut on the bridge of his nose, and he did he had to go back into makeup, so everyone was looking at me a bit. But he was fine about it, bless him.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad he didn't hold a grudge or anything.
That would have been difficult.
A little bit.
Tricky, frightening. What are the guys?
We are going to have to wrap this up, but I do have one last question, and it's about your character from Star Wars. How does it feel to be playing a character that systematically created Darth Vader? Because if Watto had just let Annie and his mother go at the same bet, we would have no Darth Vader. You are the domino tipping point.
It's business. Okay? It's just business. It's not personal. Get out of here.
Everybody, please. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Roseanne. Thank you. If anybody does have any questions, Andy will be along the back. Andy, are you much of a hugger? Do you like accepting hugs from people?
Hugger?
A hugger.
Yes, I can hug.
Good.
As long as you know, we need a written contract beforehand these days.
Okay, so essentially, autograph then hug.
Yeah, that's
how it works. If anybody would like a hug, you got to get the autograph first. Thank you. And once again, everybody, please, a round of applause for Mr. Andy Secombe. We're going to take a wee break now. The next panel that's coming up is
Undertale.
The Undertale panel. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, I have no idea what that's going to entail. Hopefully something about Undertale. We shall see. That's on at 1:30. If you want to stick around for that, folks, you are more than welcome. Oh, yes, and apparently there is... No, come here. There is... What's happening in between 1 and 2?
Wrestling. Outside.
There's outside wrestling, which sounds really weird out of context. It's just two greased up fellas throwing themselves around a ring. Go and find out. We just don't know. But more than anything, folks, enjoy the rest.